we haven't talked in forever, but I've been a fan of yours for so long, man. You can hear me, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've been a fan of yours ever since like probably 2001-ish, because I don't know if I ever told you this, but my friends and me bought one of those thick DVD box sets from Best Buy that were like far in the back section, and it had, I think, 3 of the Filthy McNasties on it, and it had Mulva Zombie Ass Kicker, which was the first movie I ever saw that you made. And
if it was 2001 or 2002, it probably would have
early aughts.
Yeah, it probably would have just had Mulva and Filthy on it.
Okay.
We hadn't made 2 or 3 yet.
Okay. I did definitely had a Filthy. I remember it being, because I remember Filthy McNasty being on the back cover.
Yeah, that was those were like, that was those days where, like, I mean, well, not much had changed, but nobody, once like a distribution deal was made, sort of like all hands were away from me. Right. I didn't get any info or made any money on anything, so I would like walk into a media play, and I'd see that.
See that stuff just sitting
I'd
there,
be
right?
like, whoa,
Yeah,
like,
right.
Why didn't they say anything to me?
Right.
Not like they had to, but it would have been cool. But yeah, so it was, I found out the same way everybody else did, usually,
That's amazing. I mean, like, that's how I discovered Chris Seaver, is by just buying a bulk DVD set. And then we must have watched Mulva like 3 or 4 times, and we laughed our asses off every time. And I think that led to me either looking you up online like a creep, or finding out like you're finding the Low Budget Pictures website or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But in the end, I think we ended up meeting because of our mutual friend Clint Kelly. I feel like that's how
we met before that.
Did we?
Oh yes.
Did we? Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'm wrong. My memory is completely shot, man. I'm totally wrong. All right. Did we meet before that? All right.
Yes, we did. We met. We had talked
online
several times.
Okay.
Online and emails and whatnot, this, that, and the other, and but we. I met you at a convention.
Mm-hmm.
I met Clint in 2011. So
you're right. I probably
met you
talked to you
probably 2009.
Yeah. We probably talked before that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and I want to say on this podcast, like while we're recording, I'm going to say sorry to Chris because there was so many times where you asked me to help you make something. And I said I honestly could not get up to New York. It was just like a money working situation thing. It was never like I didn't want to do it. It was just I couldn't get there. But you asked, I was so flattered you asked me so many times that I never could make it.
Yeah, no problem.
I think it was Terror at Blood Fart Lake. You asked me to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got made. It's all good.
It got made. Yeah, no, it got made.
I mean, you've helped us out.
Yeah, no, I've I think the 2 most memorable things are, one is Clint used my computer to, well, me and him basically color corrected Evil Knight.
Yeah.
And I did this digital effects for WEIRDSIES. Yeah. But so for anyone that's watching that doesn't know Seavage, you still say Seavage, right? That's what I wrote down on my list. My list actually says Seavage.
That was a nickname that a friend of the family's name was Chris Walk. And I have known him since the 90s. And he's still a part of my life, and he's basically my cousin, my cousin's best friend, my cousin Casey, who plays Teenage.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I've known Chris Walk for a long time. He's also in Scrotal Vengeance and a couple other things. But so that came about because one day in 2002, Chris and Casey just walked in my apartment at the time, and out of the blue, Chris Walk was like, "Hey, Seavage," you know, and then they just started calling me Seavage, and then yeah,
that's it. Well, I mean, literally, that's what I wrote down is Seavage.
So that just became a thing, and now people know me as the Seavage.
Yeah, because I saw you also posted about the Seavage fan films, and I was like, oh, good. Still going by that.
Yeah, man.
But for anyone that is unfamiliar with Chris Seaver, I want to just like read a list of some of my favorite titles of yours, if that's okay. Sure. We've already said a few, but Anal Paprika, the Filthy McNasty franchise, Teen Ape Goes to Camp, SEXSQUATCH, Stonky Beach, Ski Wolf, Wet Heat, Moist Fury, Geek War, The Weirdsies, and of course Mulva Zombie Ass Kicker. It's like the best collection of movie titles ever, by the way. Your IMDb page is incredible.
Yeah, I don't know how that shit gets up there.
You don't put that up there? Oh, it's pretty extensive. Like, it has everything.
Somebody told me, someone just recently was like, man, well, they have a lot of shit up there, and they have stuff up there that like nobody should know.
Right. Yeah, there's a few I've heard you say like never got finished that are listed on IMDb.
Yeah, so the only thing I can think of is like I guess like just random people can open up an account and do that shit.
You can. I got a credit on the Weirdsies and I didn't add it. So
well, there you go.
Yeah, like I'm happy to have it, but I was like, I thought you were entering them. Okay.
No, man, I haven't touched IMDb probably since the early 2000s. I find the place deplorable actually. So
yeah, no, that makes
anything
sense.
that gets popped up there, it's not from us.
It's not from you. Okay. But yeah, you anyway, you've been making movies for over 30 years now.
Indeed.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like I've been a hardcore fan for 20 years. And I'm just happy that we kind of know each other. So I want to thank you for actually, doing the podcast because I was planning to ask you anyway.
I invited myself.
Yeah, but I was gonna ask you. I was gonna totally ask you. You're on my list. I'm telling you, because this actual podcast only started like a year ago. Is the sound coming through? I'm just making sure. Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't know if you're getting this thing.
No, I'm getting this. I can tell. It didn't. The sound quality is still good. You're good.
Okay, because it keeps rubbing my shoulder, and I'm.
No, I can't hear anything. You're good.
Okay, good.
No, don't even worry about it. You're good.
Great.
So the reason now I've learned, because interviewing people or just like doing podcasts like this, I've learned that I kind of like to give everyone an assignment because it gives us something to like kind of go over and shoot the shit with.
Yeah.
I asked you to think of your 10 favorite movies from the aughts, and I want to explain this weird thing because I know that you do your show, which I watch often, which is A Crap from the 80s. So I know you talk about 80s stuff. Nobody needs I'm not going to bring you on here to talk about 80s stuff. You got that completely covered with your own content. You got that.
I certainly would.
I know you would. And believe me, there's no other more formative expert on the subject. But I figured you got that covered, right? I usually cover new stuff on my podcast, so I was like, what can we both talk about movie-wise that neither of us ever do? And I know you are not a fan of the 90s, so I crossed that out. And then I was like, 2010s just happened, so what if we go, aughts? That's the reason. That was my thinking on that. That was a power of deduction. If you were like, what the hell is Bob asking me to do this for?
No,
Okay.
It's good. Like, I got, I think I need to clarify for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some things in the 90s that are great.
Yeah.
I love a lot, actually, when it comes to certain pop culture that was happening in the 90s.
Sure.
But my thing is, it's mostly an aesthetic thing. It's the look and the sound and the feel, it changed,
Mm-hmm.
I like to say the 80s lasted until about mid 90s.
Yeah, no.
Because things still felt like the 80s. And then there was a real shitty shift.
I usually say the cutoff was, for me, it's 93-ish.
I'll go up to about 95.
Really?
Okay. And then it's like, I can't deal with this anymore. Do
you think that's an age thing too? Like, I'm a little bit younger than you, but not by much.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm 45 this year.
I'm 39, going to be 40.
I don't know. Because I like a lot of movies and television that came from the 90s, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I just look at the fashion, the music. I absolutely hate the music in the 90s. I hate it. I don't like it.
I mean, compared to the 80s music, it's hard to even, comparison ruins it right
even
out there.
Going into the 2000s and now, like, I don't generally like the music that's not from the 80s.
No, I'm the same.
Or ska. I'm a
ska, right?
I'm a ska guy, and everyone's like, "Well, ska's the '90s." Well, it's not. It's not the '90s. And I liked ska in the '80s, but I didn't know it was called ska. It
was just music you liked. Yeah.
My mother and my uncles certainly knew what it was because that's how I was listening to it. But it wasn't until '93 when I heard the Boss Tones that I was like, "Oh, this is." So it's called ska,
Right. Yeah. That was pretty much like the mainstream exposure of ska. That's like, right.
In like 97, 98. Yeah. It became like a thing for a year.
Yeah.
And then it disappeared.
They had that hit.
And I was just like, oh, guys, come on. Like, it's good music. Like, but there was so many bandwagoners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I remember
anyway,
Orange County Supertones. That's what I remember.
I like ska, I like 80s, and I like fantasy metal.
Okay. I'm down with that.
Right. I like Metallica and Dio. Dio mostly because he's saying about dragons and shit like that, but that's the type of stuff I like. And if there's a band that's happening now in the 2000s, and if they sound like they're from the 80s, I tend to like it. Like there's this band Chromeo, right? This band Chromeo, and it's just two dudes. And they started in the 2000s. But god damn, they play like 80s. That's what they do.
You ever heard of
that type of shit?
Luca Turilli or Rhapsody of Fire? You ever heard of that?
Of course. Yeah. I loved Rhapsody before it was called Rhapsody of Fire.
I know. I said that because I remember the legal case that they had to change the name. I have Rhapsody CDs that still say Rhapsody.
Oh, yeah. No, I love Rhapsody.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I'm Guardian and Nightwish and all that shit. Halloween. Like, power metal is awesome. But the 90s just, I don't. And it's odd because I also had a tremendous time in the 90s. Like I was a teen and in my 20s in the 90s, and I was making movies and things were happening, and it was a great fucking time.
So it's still a golden period in life. It's not like your personal nostalgia of life is ruining the 90s. It's just it's just literally your opinion of the aesthetic. I got it.
That's it, man.
The other reason I said that is because I remember me, you, and Clint, when we were together, me and Clint were like talking about 90s stuff, and you kept going. you kept giving us like the sour face. We would just laugh. So that's kind of like my memory is Chris Seaver is not about the 90s. So I apologize if I'm like painting you as you hate all of the 90s. I know you don't.
No, listen. I do it to myself because I on my show,
right?
I fucking say constantly, I hate the 90s.
You should have called. That would have been like an alternate title, like I love the 90s.
Yeah, I hate the 90s.
I hate the 90s. Right?
But yeah, obviously, there's things that came out of the 90s that were great. There's things that came out of the 2000s that were great.
If you're a fan of movies, pop culture in general, there's good stuff from every decade.
Yeah,
yeah.
I have a fondness for when I was a kid. I have a fondness for the 80s because it was the pop culture explosion. It really fucking was. And everything that was happening new and now, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And to this day, really, 100%, everything is aping the decade of the 80s. You know, everything is. So, like, it was a very insane...
that's a good point, too, because, like, we both are hovering 40 in right around there, different directions. Yeah. But still, our generation is this old now, and it's weird how the industry is just literally copying our childhoods again.
I mean, it's because,
it's the best. It was the best.
You know, the 40 to 50-year-olds are now running things.
Right.
So we're like, fuck yeah, I want to see this, you know?
I look forward to I want to do another episode with you again in like 10 years when it's all 90s stuff. Right. It's all bringing the 90s back.
Help me out.
Yeah. But I mean, look, I never once, having known you, I've never once thought you were like obtuse about this or anything. Like, I watch your show. I don't think you actually you vehemently hate the 90s or anything. And also, I know you love stuff now. You're sitting in front of an Alita poster. I mean, I know you love other things besides the 80s. So
yeah, listen, we're fucking living in an amazing time.
Yeah.
As far as pop culture goes, and the cliche of the geeks run the world.
It happened.
I mean, it fucking did, and here we are, and we're reaping all the benefits.
I used to say, back in high school, I was one of the few people who knew who Iron Man was.
Yeah.
And now my mother knows who Iron Man is. You know what I mean? Like, that's how much stuff has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you couldn't ask somebody about, what's the name of Thor's hammer? They wouldn't. They would have no clue. And now it's well known. Okay. Anyway, with these lists, I made a list too. And I have a feeling you're going to give me the sour face on a lot of these.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No, but that's what I want. I want that because I'm totally fine with not having the same. We might actually have a few of the same ones. That's what I'm hoping. But I was figuring we'd go down from 10 and we alternate. We can talk about our choices. Or did you put them in order?
Yeah, that's fine. We can go from 10.
Yeah. Because I'm just curious to know the Seavage lineage on the aughts here. What's your number 10?
So 2010, huh?
Yeah, 2000. Well, no. So, wait, you did one from every year?
I did. Well, I did a bunch from every year.
Oh, okay. So I just did the top 10 from the whole decade. So that's okay.
Yeah, but no, but it's fine. I have so many written down here. I don't know if you can see, but
oh god, that's a lot. You overdid the assignment. That's great. I'm happy.
But that's just me. I again, that's why I just starred the ones that I would really talk about.
Okay.
I just surprised myself.
How many there were?
I liked so many.
As no one's privy to our conversation in our DMs, you were like, I think I can do it. I'll challenge myself. There's a slight bit of doubt that you might not be able to. I knew you had it in you. Okay, instead of don't listen to my numbering thing. Let's just go. Let's just say what you say one, and then I'll say one after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then again, like I said, I mean, The Star is probably going to be the one that I watch the most out of this list, from 2010, and it may surprise you.
I'm excited.
But so everything I'm going to mention right now is just sort of a honorable.
Okay.
Jackass 3D.
Dude, I am such a big Jackass fan. You already got me. We're already in sync right there. Yeah. You see 4 yet?
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It was good.
Good.
Not as good as 3, but it was good.
Yeah, 3's kind of. I think 3's my favorite one.
Me too.
And that's not a popular opinion, apparently, with Jackass fans.
Nuts. I don't know. 3 is
incredible,
fantastic.
but yeah, best opening ever.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, so Jackass 3D. That's good. Okay. So you're saying for you, that's your starred choice from 2010?
No.
Oh,
that is
okay.
a honorable mention.
Okay. I only wrote down 10 movies, so that's...
Well, let me give you my stars.
Yeah, give me your stars. Yeah.
2010, the one that I watched the most out of this list that I have is How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay. It's a great movie.
I love it.
It's a great movie. Yeah.
Love it. It totally surprised me.
It's a solid trilogy, really.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, like it doesn't get talked about a lot, but it's a really solid trilogy.
Yeah.
But that first one is incredible. Okay, I'll give you I wrote a list of just 10 movies in order from 10 to 1.
For 2010?
No, for all the decade.
For the whole decade. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't explain this well enough, probably. So my number 10 was Slither.
It's on my list for 2005.
Okay. All right. See, there you go. There's some...
Oh wait, no, for 2006. Yeah,
2006. Yeah, I didn't even write the years down. I did this completely different than you. It's fine. That's my fault. Yeah, James Gunn, kind of one of my heroes, and hey, he's still working. He's doing bigger things than he ever did.
Yeah, it's a really fun movie. Not for 1 second do I believe he's never seen Night of the Creeps.
Yeah, do you remember when they came out? I remember he denied that he saw it.
He denied it up and down, but I don't buy it to this day.
It's too close.
Yeah.
It's too similar.
It's okay if he
I don't know why he didn't just admit it.
Yeah, it's an homage. You know, it's a little there's a little wink and nod in there.
Yeah. Like I wasn't ready to like get mad about it, but I remember it was on MySpace where he addressed this.
No, I didn't get mad, but I was just like, bullshit. You've seen it.
It's like the same movie. Are you kidding? It could be a remake.
Yeah.
He literally could have called it a remake. And has Fred Decker ever like commented on it?
I'm sure he has, and I'm sure Fred Decker also cries bullshit. You know,
right? It doesn't have the framing device.
No,
it doesn't. But
give me a break.
Yeah, I do love Night of the Creeps quite a bit.
Me too.
Okay, give me some more.
For 2010?
Or I guess 2009. For your list, we'll keep going down the years, and then we'll do like
so 2009. I have a few starred.
Okay.
But I'll say I have Drag Me to Hell starred. I have Watchmen starred.
Awesome.
I have Inglourious Basterds starred. And probably my number one that I have watched consistently since 2009 is Trick or Treat.
You know, Chris, I don't know why I was afraid we wouldn't like the same stuff, because I love everything you just said. Inglourious Basterds is actually on my list. It's actually number 3. That might actually be my favorite Tarantino movie.
It's up there.
What was the first one you said in that?
I said Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah. Drag Me to Hell.
Sam Raimi's return to horror.
Right. I love that movie.
So fucking fun.
Yeah. So good. Kind of hoping he goes back to horror again sometime. But
me too. But I'm super jazzed for Doctor Strange too.
So am I.
Oh.
So am I. So excited.
And then I have Watchmen. I love Watchmen.
Yeah. I was watching a stream by you the other night where you were talking about Zack Snyder a bit.
Yeah.
I was like, and I was kind of surprised that I agree with you. I've talked about Snyder. I really actually am a big fan of Snyder, but
I think he's a great filmmaker.
Yeah, I do too.
Get away from DC, man.
It's literally just how he portrays the heroes that I'm not fond of. But I'm like, it's hard because like people shit on him so hard, and I like kind of agree when they're talking about how he portrays Superman and stuff. But I don't want to be like dismissive of him as a filmmaker, you know?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, like I think I want to see movies by Zack Snyder. Just please stop touching my beloveds.
I think he's done. I
don't think he will again. Yeah, but yeah, I've always defended Watchmen, especially the director's cut.
It's fucking great. I don't know, and I was a fan of the books,
you know. Yeah,
so like, I don't know, for me, for this fan, I was like, he did a fucking great job, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this will probably alienate some people listening, but like I've always said, I think he did a more straight. The actual script to the movie is more straightforwardly understandable than the book.
Of course.
I mean,
course,
it just is. I mean, nothing against Alan Moore is a genius.
Yeah.
But he has admitted he writes everything once. He doesn't do a second pass.
I do. I just write one.
And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like, the fact that the movie made it more streamlined, understand the ending feels like it has more of a direct theme. I don't know. I've always defended that movie, and I've gotten shit because of it. I'm glad you like it too.
You like what you like, man.
What cut do you like the best?
I do like the director's cut.
Yeah.
Ultimate I could take.
Good.
I could take out the fucking
cartoon.
freighter. I could do without it, and it's cool that they did it. But it doesn't do anything for me.
It's better as an extra feature.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's better in the book.
Yeah.
It makes more sense. But so Trick or Treat is definitely my favorite film of 2009. Shot in 2007. Sat on a shelf for 2 years.
So long. Yeah.
But man, once I saw it, I was like, it's very rare.
Yeah.
It's very rare that I say like instant classic or like modern classic. You know what I mean? Like, because it's silly and cheesy to say that, but it became a movie that I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna watch this all the time.
Yeah. Oh, and now we were talking about another list I was talking about was like modern movies that feel like they're 80s movies. That
Mike
would
Doherty
be on my list.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
That
he's
would definitely
be. Yeah, he totally is. Yeah. Do you like Krampus?
I do not.
You don't like Krampus? Okay.
I do not like Krampus, and I've seen it probably 5 times and tried every single time.
Yeah.
It just it just doesn't have that magic. Doesn't have the magic for me. Plus, I have a really hard time with movies that tend to shoot with no light.
It is very dark,
and it's the movie is so dark.
Yeah.
And I felt like after coming away from the theater, I was like, well, when it comes out on Blu-ray, it'll probably be, a little bit better. I'll be able to see everything. And then I watched it on Blu-ray and I was like, I still can't fucking see anything.
I mean, honestly, speaking of that, that's why I hated Godzilla King of the Monsters.
King of the Monsters?
Yeah.
The first one.
No. The one he wrote and directed.
Oh, so the second one.
The second one, yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't see anything. It's beautiful.
He leaves everything in the dark. Yeah.
It's like strangely beautiful, but as a movie, I was like, I can't tell what's happening.
I really like the movie.
Yeah.
And there's things in it that, like, as a Godzilla fan, I was like really
stoked to see,
giddy and happy about. But
it's dark.
Yeah. It is dark.
It is dark. Like,
so is the first one.
I'm not a big fan of that one, actually.
Holy shit! Like,
yeah, that franchise for me has been ups and downs like crazy. But
then Adam Wingard, I felt did it right, and
that's a fun movie.
It's fucking in your face, and you can see everything, and I love it. I love it. I'm a huge Godzilla fan, so
yeah,
it's not going to take a lot to please
to sell you.
Yeah,
I don't
need plot.
I've watched King of the Monsters a few times. It's just every time I'm like, my eyes are just squinting. What's happening? It's raining. They're in the dark. I'm like, Jesus.
That's another thing. Like, fucking. Yeah. It was funny because like I complained when the first movie came out. It's one of the things I complained about. I was like, why are all these fucking monsters always fighting in the dark? Like, you filmmakers are just fucking cheap. Like,
yeah.
If you're gonna make a Godzilla movie, give us a goddamn Godzilla movie so we can see the main guy,
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I hope they do the second one and there's some fucking light. They're like they're fighting in the day. It's okay to fight in the day, and then they didn't.
That was kind of. That was
on top of that, they added rain.
Right. Yeah.
Same thing that Del Toro did with Pacific Rim, and I am an unabashed lover of Pacific Rim.
I love Pacific Rim. I actually like 2 as well.
Why? So do I. But
because you can see everything,
which they fucking did it in the daytime.
Yeah, you did it in the daytime.
And you know, but I really love Pacific Rim. But it was the same thing, man. Del Toro, like, it's okay to have monsters fight in the day, you know?
Yeah,
and
that's
not
like
raining.
So, it's criticizing Del Toro feels like just futile. Like, he's a genius. I would never take anything away from him. But yes, if I had a criticism, not only is that movie so dark, but everything is very up close. The wide shots are very sparse. Like, he did not give us a lot of establishing shots of these fights, and I'm just like, you know, it's like a punch in the face.
Yeah.
And so I was happy that while the sequel's not as good of a movie,
no, but
you can at least see everything happening.
I mean, it gave me
yeah
far more of what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I love the first one, but yeah, they go to town in that second one. You know what I mean?
They do. And out of the MonsterVerse franchise, honestly, my favorite movie is Skull Island.
I would agree.
I mean, speaking of daylight fights, I mean,
oh my goodness,
good, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this might be. I'm gonna go with my number 9. I think this might be where you splinter off. I don't actually know though, because you might not. Number 9.
So this would be.
This is mine is not by year. I'm just telling you mine.
Okay, yeah.
Mine is just the entire decade.
Yep.
Number 9. Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah, I do not like Freddy Got.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like Freddy Got Fingered, so I just split it off everyone pretty much. But I love Freddy Got Fingered. Okay, we won't talk about it.
I watched it once, like when it came out on VHS.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
And was like, nope.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Yeah, no need to go on. I get it. It's only if you like it. I could talk about it with people, but I understand everyone hating it.
I like dumb shit. Believe me.
I know.
But yeah.
I know. It's okay. I got you. Okay, moving on. Give me 2008.
Okay, so I have 3-starred. So Iron Man.
Okay.
You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Dude, Chris, are you kidding? Yes.
And Hellboy 2. And Hellboy 2 is my favorite out of 2008, and I've watched Hellboy 2 countless times.
Hellboy 2 is on my list. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, it's fucking beautiful.
It's incredible. It's beautiful. It's like actually beautiful for
several reasons.
I never thought Hellboy 2 would be that incredible of a film, but it is.
Yeah,
it's
fucking awesome.
But I have to say, I don't know, man. Are we like the only 2 Zohan fans alive? I love Zohan so much.
No, like a lot of the gang like Zohan.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we all saw it together and we were fucking losing it in the theater. We were just like, this is slap your knee, fucking crying, laughing.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Love it.
Obviously, when it was released, it was like destroyed. But I think people might have been finding it a little bit recently. Like, it's actually kind of subversive.
I mean,
yeah.
Listen, you know, when Adam Sandler does stupid, like, that's my favorite. I like when he goes a little absurd and there's wacky, weird, off-putting, odd shit in his movies, and that's my favorite. And Zohan was just
is like the top, because like
he is piling it on. I love it.
The reality of that movie it's like he's a superhero, but no one ever talks about it. The fact that he can do all this insane stuff.
Yeah, man.
Like, he ties the guy in a knot, and the thing that surprises everybody isn't that the guy could be tied in a knot, you know? It's like, okay. And also, it's just tasteless to some degree, which I really appreciate. Like, him having sex with old women. It's like
I love it.
Like, the whole movie is incredible.
So good. His dad dipping his fucking glasses in hummus. Everything is hummus. Oh, my God. I love it.
So good. Written by somebody who I consider one of the funniest human beings alive, which is Robert Smigel.
I mean, you know, some of those dudes that came out of SNL and kind of and teamed up and did a whole bunch of this shit. I wish they were really in the forefront of doing shit these days.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good when that type of shit comes on the screen or that partnership, and I love stupidity like that.
Yeah,
man.
same. I mean, that's really when you talk about the 90s, I think of 90s SNL. Because for me, I mean, that was formative for me. Is like the Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, Phil Hartman years of SNL is when I came up to understanding what comedy was.
Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of what's his name? Chris Farley. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of him, but
okay.
I loved all the people around him. I mean, that 90s cast, definitely. I was, in my teens, and
yeah,
I was like, fuck yeah, Dana Carvey and all those
Dana
guys.
Carvey, right.
Hell yeah.
Mike Myers.
Fucking funny people.
Yeah.
And
they were like considered terrible back then.
I know.
That's like every generation of SNL. People just say, this is worse. It used to be good. And then 20 years later, they're like, no, that was the best. So,
and then I have Iron Man on there. Iron Man like really kicked off the
MCU.
And it's
still one of the best movies in the MCU.
It's so good.
It's a great movie. Yeah, it's just a great movie. It doesn't necessitate the MCU to be great. Like,
no, not at all.
I like or love almost all of the MCU, but
absolutely,
Iron Man stands alone. It doesn't need anything else. It's just great. So
yeah, it was just good for good's sake. It was good,
right.
And who the fuck we didn't know until the very end of those credits.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, who the fuck knew? It was just a great movie. It was just like, wow, that was great. That was Iron Man.
Right. We didn't know until, what was it, at the end of Hulk, right? When he shows up.
Well, I mean, at the end of Iron Man. At the end of the first Iron Man is when Sam Jackson shows up.
Right. But I meant, like, okay, what I mean is that we've had a lot in our lives of, like, franchises that have been teased and then never happened.
Oh, but I bought it.
You did? I didn't buy it then. I was like, prove it. Prove we're going here. And then
100% I bought it. I was like, oh my God, you got to be fucking kidding me.
We're actually doing this, huh? We're doing it. All right. Now, I didn't have faith until, like, the third time they did a teaser. So then I was like, all right, so we're actually going to keep going. Yeah. All right, fine. Yeah, that's a great movie. And also, I think it kind of gave Favreau his whole second career act, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and now he's like Mr. fucking nerd.
Yeah, now he's Star Wars. He basically owns Star Wars. Right? Okay. I'm going to go number 8.
Okay.
Which for me is Spider-Man 2. Sam Raimi.
It is
that's not 2008. It's just my number 8.
Yeah. It is on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not starred, but it is on my list.
Okay. I feel like Raimi's going to be, if I made a list like in the same spirit as yours, Raimi would probably be on most of it. That's just in general, because he's one of my heroes. But so your 2008, what is your 2008?
Oh, hi, baby. I said, my 2008 was Hellboy 2. So now I'm going to 2007.
2007, go for that, yeah.
I have 3 starred.
Okay.
Grindhouse.
Hell yeah.
Transformers, the first one.
Okay.
And Hot Rod.
Oh, Chris, are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude, Hot Rod is on my list too. Remember, this is my top 10 of the decade. So the fact that you're saying these movies is really making me happy. Because Hot Rod's one where I'll say it, and it's like, does the person know? Are they in the club? Because it's not a well-known thing.
Hot Rod is
incredible, right?
Fucking hilarious.
And
that's another movie where I was fucking crying, slapping my knee in the theaters, and it was me and like 5 other people, and we were just like cracking the fuck up. And I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, Make more movies like this, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I love.
And I also came out of that theater going, "Why the fuck has nobody noticed our stuff yet? Like,
Yeah.
it's playing right there on the screen. We can do this, you know."
Yeah. Like Seaver with a budget type of thing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well,
Now, Hot Rod is one of my. I still watch it. I watch it probably like 3 times a year, honestly, because
my
I put
son loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed it to him at an early age for him, you know.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's so good, so funny. He's got a theatrical poster in his bedroom hanging up.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Also, like, it's just an incredible, like, I know, like, to say this is weird, but I think it's an incredible piece of filmmaking. Like, it's really well made, and like the comedic editing is perfect. I'm not just saying that because of like Cool Beans. I mean, just like in general, all the jokes are perfectly timed and cut.
It's great.
It's just a great piece of work. I love it so much. Also, my favorite joke from that movie is Unspoken, which is the soundtrack is basically the album The Final Countdown, but they didn't use the song The Final Countdown, which is hilarious to me. How easy would it have been?
I know.
But
it's too cheap.
It's too cheap.
They don't want to cheapen it by giving you The Final Countdown.
It's too obvious. That's the hack choice. It had to be all the other stuff. You said Transformers, which I think is interesting. I do enjoy the first Transformers movie, and like I think the third one, if I had to choose out of all of them. I'm a big Michael Bay fan. I actually love Michael Bay.
I love Michael Bay.
I do. I mean, my favorites are all of his. Probably the non-Transformer stuff would come before Transformers.
Absolutely. Like my favorite Michael Bay movie is Bad Boys 2.
I got a poster in the other room hanging up, man.
I think it's a fucking masterpiece of ridiculous action. You know, like I mean, it's action porn.
I feel sad that we didn't talk movies more all these years. Do you understand? I love Bad Boys 2 so fucking much, man.
Yeah.
Like not only is it amazingly beautifully shot and everything, but it's also insane.
Absolutely.
It's also a piece of auteur filmmaking on the level of like Holy Mountain. You know what I mean? Like only Joe Dorowski could make Holy Mountain, and only Michael Bay could make Bad Boys 2.
Yeah, Bay's Bay.
Yeah.
So, you know, being of the age, Transformers was a big deal for me growing up in the 80s. And the thought of a live action movie
was huge.
Was just fucking insane for me. So I have a very special place in my heart for the first Transformers film. And there's a lot of cool things that happen in the other Transformers movies, but I mean, you get to part 5, and I'm just like, Bay, you got to go. You got to go away. Like,
there's part of me that thinks he just started trolling people. Like, I remember at the end of 4 do you remember the end of 4 is like Optimus Prime being like, I'm gonna go kill God, and then he flies off into space. I was like, wait, did I just watch like a 3-hour movie?
He's gonna go kill his creator.
But I was like, he can fly? It was just it's just nuts. It was just nuts.
Yeah, I just
did you like Bumblebee?
I loved Bumblebee.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Loved it, and I was like, see, this is what it needs to be. Get fucking Bay away from Transformers and let him just go do his Bayhem. Yeah. And it was more Transformers than even Transformers 1.
Right. Especially the opening scene.
Oh my God. Oh.
Right. But then also you got the 80s aspect of it. It really felt like a short circuit movie or something like that.
I love Bumblebee.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing, live action Optimus Prime, and I was just like, whoo, this is whoo,
you felt that the juices tingle, right?
But and then with Grindhouse,
Grindhouse.
I was so fucking excited for Grindhouse. The two filmmakers, of course, I was like, finally, once again, they did Dusk Till Dawn, which was one of my favorite films ever,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're doing this.
A 90s movie too, by the way.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
I love Russell Dawn.
But it doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
And I love pretty much everything about Grindhouse except for Death Proof. I do not like Death Proof.
You don't like Death Proof?
No, not at all. In fact, I don't even watch it when I watch Grindhouse. I
just stop after that, after the commercials.
I'm like, give me Planet Terror all day long.
Yeah,
because that's more my speed. And in fact, I like Rodriguez more than I like Tarantino.
That makes sense.
Because he appeals far more to me.
Yes, I get it,
than Tarantino. Tarantino really loves to jack off at himself looking in a mirror while typing. You know what I mean? Like
I agree, but I also
there's
sometimes
sometimes, man, where I'm just like, okay, now you're just showing off to yourself. Like you were just straight like, look what I can do, and it really does turn me off. And that was happening big time in Death Proof. And I was just like, I thought this was supposed to be his horror picture,
it was like they both had two different assignments. I actually love Death Proof, but I also love Planet Terror. But
people love Death Proof.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. It's fine. I'm just saying, like, they both sort of had different assignments on what they were doing. You know what I mean? It's odd how different it was, but
Tarantino didn't get the assignment.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, I'll make a Corman film at the last 15 minutes of the movie, or the last 10 minutes of the movie. I'll make a Roger Corman exploitation film. But the first 3 hours, it's just going to be all my dialogue. That's it.
Right.
It's going to be nothing but dialogue and women in short shorts. Yeah. That's it. That wasn't for me.
As far as Rodriguez is concerned, I mean, he's one of my heroes. Reading his book was like one of the reasons I wanted to be a filmmaker.
Yeah, man.
But what I always found interesting about Rodriguez, especially in the 90s, speaking of, is that he came on the scene, and everyone assumed Hollywood pushed this narrative on him that he was like this serious foreign filmmaker with El Mariachi. And I think ever since then, he's done everything he can to be like, no, I like this. And he just he just started, he kept making action movies and grindhouse stuff. He makes kids movies. Like, he is exactly not the guy they tried to make him into.
I know, man.
And I'm saying, I always love how much he embraces that. Like, to make Planet Terror is like a middle finger to everything that was being sold to us about him when he first showed up,
But it's, I mean,
it's incredible.
If you know him, it's incredible. It is so him.
It's so him.
Like,
yeah.
I just love it. Obviously, I loved Alita.
Alita.
I mean, I was a fan of the.
I've never even seen the
animation. Oh, you haven't?
No, I'm not. I don't watch anime. So
okay. Well, so in '93, they started putting out some of the bigger animation from Japan on VHS through like Manga Video.
Yeah.
And so when Akira came out and shit like that, I was like, this is so fucking great. So Alita Battle Angel is like literally only like 40 minutes long or 50 minutes long or something like that. But it's so good, and he did such a great job adapting that.
All my friends who are fans of the anime said that movie is it's incredibly well made from the source material, but also like as somebody who hasn't seen it, I loved it.
Yeah,
it worked for me without having seen it. I don't know if he'll ever get a follow up, but I hope he does.
I hope he does.
But I think I don't think they're going to get the money for that.
Well, now they got Disney money, so
that's true. He is doing Boba Fett.
Well, but I know, but I mean, Fox now is under Disney, and that's right. Alita.
Yeah,
give him a little of that Disney
cheddar. Yeah. So my next two were Hellboy 2 and Hot Rod. So we already talked about that. You're 2006.
So I have 4 on my list for 2006.
Okay.
4 stars.
Okay.
And then I'll say the one that I watched the most. And Slither is on the list, but is not one of my starred.
Gotcha.
I have Casino Royale.
Mm-hmm.
I have Pirates 2.
Hell yeah.
I have. This is an interesting one. I have Underworld 2.
Okay. Okay.
And it's the only Underworld that would be on any of these lists.
Okay.
And then The Prestige.
All right.
And
I'm
favorite
a fan
of that. Yeah, my favorite of that year is probably The Prestige, but real close is Underworld 2.
Really? Okay.
As far as the movies that I've watched the most out of 2006.
So I don't have fond memories of Underworld 2, but I'm going to be honest with you, Chris.
Most people don't.
I haven't seen it since the theaters.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to revisit it. Cause
I'm trying to get Casey to revisit it because he went to the theater with me, and when we saw it, and he fell asleep, and I was just like, "What are you doing?"
I saw it with. I'll never forget this. And this remember how long ago this was. One of my friends was stoned out of their mind. See, I was sober, but I remember at the end, the movie ended. And this is not, I'm not trying to insult the movie, but he was just like, at first I thought I didn't understand what was going on because of the drugs. And then I realized it was because of the movie. I was like, yeah, I kind of agree. But maybe if I rewatch it now, it'll hit me different because it's been so long. I
don't know. To go from Underworld to Underworld 2, I was just really, really impressed. I was just like, wow, this is because they were mixing medieval mythology with it, and the makeup effects were pumped up to
I remember them being awesome.
11.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was really blown away by the makeup effects and what they were doing. And then when I saw the making of the movie and I saw how much of the effects in the movie were practical, and I couldn't believe that they were. I was just like, it earned my respect.
Really? Was that directed by, was it Len?
Yeah, same. Yeah, he did
guy?
The first two.
First two? Okay.
And then it switched up. But
did you ever see the rest of them?
I did.
Okay. Oh, okay. I can hear the tone right there. Yeah.
Three is kind of cool because it's all medieval, and it goes back to the beginning of when it all started. So I like that, but man, 4 and 5, I don't even know why I saw 5 after 4. I felt like I'm in this deep, I might as well finish this.
You got to finish it.
And they're terrible. They're just abysmal.
Okay. I didn't go past 3.
Well, so. You're a better man for it.
Yeah. I got nothing against the Underworld franchise, but I saw the first 3 in theaters. I'm gonna give 2 a second chance just because of this podcast.
I'm making Casey do it. We're gonna sit, and he was like, "Okay, but I want to watch all 3." I go, "Okay, we'll watch 3 because it's a prequel. Then we'll watch 1 and 2." But I really want him to pay attention to 2, be wide awake. Casey loves vampires. He loves vampires, and for him to come out of that movie and be like, terrible. And I was like, you were fucking asleep for most of it. I don't know. And he hasn't watched it since 2006. So
yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm open to having changed myself. I've revisited plenty of movies now at this age, and I've been like, you know what, I was wrong. So
I showed him E.T. today.
Okay, he didn't like E.T.
Because for the longest time he was like, fuck E.T. I'm gonna watch E.T. He's like, I saw it when I was a kid and I fucking hated it, and all the other cousins tried to get me to watch it all the time. I was like, no, I ain't watching this stupid movie. E.T. And, you know, we were doing our recent video, and I was like, E.T., it's celebrating 40 years this year, man. Like, fucking E.T. is a classic.
Yeah.
He was like, you know, maybe I should revisit it. I go, dude, if you watched it now, I think you would love it, knowing him. He's my blood. He's my cousin. I know he would. And he watched it today, and of course he's fucking tearing up, you know? And I fucking...
Is he like, without getting into his personal life here, does he have like, since he grew up, does he have like kids or a family or something?
Now he's got a 2-year-old.
I feel like life through tragedy or connections or relationships warms you up, and then you can revisit something like E.T. and you can actually tear up. So that makes sense to me. Wow. You know, like it hit him in the right strings that he...
I cry like a fucking baby.
Oh, same.
Every single time I watch that movie, and it was no different today. And so when we got done, I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, good. That's really good. That is really good. Like, I don't know what my problem was. I was like, yeah, fucking A.
Real quick, side venture here. What's your favorite Spielberg?
Close Encounters is my favorite Spielberg. Okay. But I mean, give me a break. You know what I mean? It's like,
so it's an embarrassment of riches there. So
you know, but I'll say this, and you know, I don't know if you know this about me or not, but I'm not a drama guy. I don't like dramas. Mm-hmm. I don't like serious movies or real movies or movies about serious things or real
movies where people are drinking tea and talking about relationships.
I just I don't do it. You know, I feel like I live life. I don't want to watch life. Mm-hmm. I want to be taken away. So I really
I'm similar, man. Like, I'll watch that stuff and be like, I'll say to my friends or cinephiles, be like, yeah, it was good, but I'm not gonna like buy it or watch it again. You know what I mean? I can recognize it being good, but not being in love with it. You know, I
just don't need to do it. So that's me. It. So Spielberg has a vast list of works, but I only watch his science fiction or adventure or, you know, fantastical. Yeah. You're not going to catch me watching fucking Amistad or
Schindler's List or something.
I saw Schindler's List because they played it in school. Mm-hmm. You know, what was I? I was 17 years old. They played it in like...
I mean, that kind of answers the question right there. The fact that they're playing the movie in school means it's kind of not your style. You know what I mean? Like, they're showing it in school, so...
I was just like, man, this is... You know, this happened. You know, I don't need to fucking watch this.
Yeah.
God damn. You know?
Yeah.
So
I love Schindler's List, but I totally get what you're saying.
Listen, people, again, you know... So I'm a very limited...
It's not a party movie. You don't sit back and relax and be like, it's Schindler's List night, baby. You know? But yeah, I mean, there's a turn too for Spielberg, I think, because of Schindler's List, like where he became a prestige filmmaker also.
Yeah.
You know, but he's still, there's peppered in through there. It's him having
fun. I know. And that's the stuff that I gravitate towards.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry. I had to know. I had to ask.
I don't give a shit about Lincoln or any of that shit or, oh man.
Did you like Ready Player One?
I fucking loved Ready Player One.
Okay, cool. I had to ask. I now hearing all that. I actually enjoy Ready Player One a lot. It gets shit on all the time. I'm like, man, lighten up, have some fun.
And I love the book. Yeah. And I don't care that it's different. I mean, fucking the author of the goddamn book wrote the goddamn movie.
Right, right. So it's fine, right? Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah. No. Okay, that's good to know. I'm happy we see eye to eye on that.
So out of 2006, I would say The Prestige is probably the one I watched.
What was the first one you said?
I do love Pirates 2.
Yeah, that's what I kind of wanted to... I actually really love that movie. I actually like the first three movies a lot.
So do I, but I think 2 is my favorite out of the 3.
2 would be my favorite also out of the... And that feels like blasphemy a little bit for some people probably because 1 is considered the classic, but I love Gore Verbinski. I love him as a director.
They're fucking fun, man.
Yeah.
Those 3 movies are super fun.
Incredibly directed.
They get me in the sweet spot. You know, I don't know. Fun.
Yeah, and you can see the absence of him in those last 2.
Oh yeah.
It's like that 4th movie. I was like, what the hell did they do?
Yeah.
It's like they took away money and talent and made that movie. But yeah, Dead Man's Chest to me is the one I rewatch the most. You know, it's I have very fond memories of seeing that.
It's a roller coaster ride, man.
It is. It's like, you could call it silly, but it's like swashbuckling.
Oh man, it's a fucking pirate movie.
Yeah, I know. I don't why people. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, when you hear the term swashbuckling as descriptive of a movie, that's the movie I most think of. Yeah, like, man, literally, they're fighting. They're fighting on like a wheel that is currently rolling both up and bottom. It's nuts.
Davy Jones looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they kill it in that movie.
Yeah.
The end, Barbossa shows up again. You're just like, what? I mean, that was dope.
Yeah, you got like that kind of like Empire Strikes Back level, like, is he dead or not? It
was anticipation.
Yeah.
It was sweet. I liked it.
No, I love that movie. I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting Pirates 2 to be on any lists, so I'm like kind of happy about that. That was 2006, right?
Yeah.
What's your 2005?
Okay, so
you're not getting exhausted doing this, are you?
I love talking movies, man.
Okay, cool.
This is great for me. But 2005 and looks like 2005 and 2004 and 2003 don't have a lot of stuff.
That's okay. That's all right. That was the 90s bleeding in still.
So 2005. Okay, so I would star Serenity.
Okay.
Because I loved Firefly.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, holy shit, like this is fucking good. I starred also as Batman Begins, and it's my favorite of the Nolan films.
Same.
Because it feels like a Batman movie to me, whereas the other 2 don't.
Chris, why are you like reading my emails or something? I've literally said that sentence before. That's awesome, man. Okay.
I also have starred Constantine.
Oh God, I love Constantine
because I think it's, regardless of
accuracy, it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
It's a really good fucking movie.
Keanu loves it too. He wants more of it.
Oh, I would take it.
Yeah.
Give me Francis Lawrence back.
Yeah, he has to be in the deal
because that his eye is. Mwah.
Also, just the fact that movie respects the audience so much, it doesn't explain what's going on ever, and I love that about it.
But I think the movie that I've watched the most from 2005 is Sin City.
Okay. We got Rodriguez back.
Yep, because I was just
blown away.
I really was like, this is another motherfucker who is. I mean, it really, honestly, I think it started with him taking the page and just putting it on the screen. I was so like, I really was blown away by it. And I watch it with a smile.
I love Sin City. I'd argue though that it was kind of a stepladder of. I say Del Toro's first Hellboy was kind of the first, like, wow, this is super accurate page to screen. And then Rodriguez went even harder. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I remember 2004 when Hellboy came out, I was like, this is what I like want out of a Hellboy movie. And then Rodriguez was like, no, I'm going to make the actual comic on the screen. And I was like, okay. So it was kind of, I just remember that, like, you know, it was like one and then boom, and then we were into the superhero territory in general. But that's a good list, man. I mean, I love everything on there. Sin City, I saw in theaters. I would easily argue 10 times.
I mean, whew.
You know what? To be honest, I don't think I ever saw the sequel.
The sequel's okay.
Yeah.
It's not as good, but the thing that I appreciated about it, even though it was, many, many years later, was that they kept it the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It is like you're just opening up the next chapter.
The next chapter of it.
They really didn't do much to try to improve the recipe.
I remember some friends telling me they're like, it was really good, but it should have been made like 5 years sooner.
It definitely should have.
It just missed the boat on the enthusiasm.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it didn't make any money or whatever, but it's a companion piece. It really is. It's you can watch them back to back, and you're just getting this one long fucking Frank Miller disease. So
yeah, awesome.
It's dope.
That was 2005, right?
Yep.
So, number 5 for me, which you haven't said yet, I don't know if you would, will be Shaun of the Dead.
Okay, so here is my thing. I've had to explain this many, many times because people are shocked that I don't care for it.
You're wearing a Day of the Dead hat too, which is incredible. Yeah.
Day of the Dead can't be beat.
Oh no, Day of the Dead rules. I think it's Day of the Dead.
So in 2002,
mm-hmm.
I got myself a region-free DVD player.
Okay.
And I immediately started scouring Amazon UK to import a bunch of DVDs. I was just like, now I can do it. Region free, I'm free. And so I just started anything that felt like I would be a fan of it. I was like, all right. This sounds pretty right up my alley, and it's not that bad shipping wise. 2002, I'm looking at shit. I put in a little order, and one of those is Spaced. So I got Spaced 1 and 2. At the time when they came out, they were new to the UK, so they were separate. It was just 2 separate seasons on DVD. So I got them because I read the description. I was like, this sounds right up my alley. And then I watched them, and I fucking fell in love with them. I was just like, this is if me and my buddies were this is oh my god, this is holy shit, this is great, this is my humor.
It was like that it's like one of those shows where you watch it, you're like, oh, they're talking like I talk.
Yes. And they had a lot of the same likes and dislikes, and it just really appealed to me. So I immediately became a fan, and I became a fan of other stuff that was similar to that, and a lot of the comedy people that did the same shit over there. So I was really like, okay, I got to keep an eye out for this, Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. And so for years, I was, trying to preach the word of Spaced and telling everybody about Spaced and everything, and showing whoever would give me the time of day. And then, I hear that they're going to make this zombie movie. And I was like, okay. And then at that point, I was excited. I was excited for it. And I can't remember if I had seen it yet, or it was just about to hit America, because it already came out in the UK. But and I went to, so at the time for my honeymoon at that point in 2005, some friends of mine, as a gift, they gifted me and my wife, who you will know from the films as Lauren P. Seaver. They gave us tickets to the premiere of Land of the Dead.
Okay.
In Pittsburgh. They said, this is your gift. Oh, and by the way, everyone is going to be there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, George Romero, Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, Greg Nicotero, Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright. Like, they just kept naming off names because this was the premiere of Land of the Dead. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You know? So we go to the premiere, and sure enough, there are all those people.
Like, are they accessible to talk to?
Absolutely. But what sucked was, so one, Rodriguez wasn't having any of it, which surprised me. He literally sat in a corner the whole time with his hat over his face.
Okay.
He did not want to talk to fucking anybody.
Gotcha.
Quentin, this was sort of kind of like Quentin is just an asshole. So Quentin was only talking to the women. If a guy tried to talk to him, he straight up ignored them.
I can believe that, yeah.
And we were watching this happen. And we were like, okay, like, this guy's a fucking asshole. Like, I don't care how talented he is. Like, what a prick. And so I tried to talk to him, and he just completely waved me off. But I was watching it throughout the night.
Right.
He wasn't talking to men at all.
At all.
But if a woman came up to him, he was like, hello, and just all over them. But I got to be honest. I was really excited to talk to Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright.
Okay.
So I went up to them, and for 25 minutes, we just talked, and we just geeked out, and I jacked off all over them about space.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just like, this show, like, I mean, just went off about it.
You did like, yeah.
I can't remember if it was out yet or if it was about to come out. I just can't remember. But there was no talk of Shaun of the Dead at all.
Hey, you hadn't seen it, right? Like,
I must. I mean, even if I had, I would have talked space.
Right.
So when I eventually did see Shaun of the Dead, it did nothing for me. It just like sat there. And I don't know if it's because I had such high expectations from Spaced and how much I love Spaced, and maybe I was expecting Spaced, that type of humor, but in this zombie world, and I got not that.
Well, it's a good thing you hadn't seen it then, so that way you.
Well, I would have just been talking about
space. Right?
I definitely would not have even mentioned Shaun of the Dead. And then after that, like, I don't like anything. I don't like.
You're gonna really dislike my number one, which was the movie you just said.
I don't like Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I didn't really even bother with that last one, The End of the World, or whatever the fuck it was.
World's End.
World's End.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, well, I mean,
I like them all, but I just
it's
like
fine,
as
man.
people, as
yeah,
talents. I just nothing has caught that high for me like Space did.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
I will say this. I met both of them. I've met both of them too at a screening, and they couldn't have been more generous with their time. I talked to Edgar Wright for like 10 minutes. I mean, like, he had a line behind me, and he still talked to me for a very long time.
Yeah,
and I asked him,
they're just dudes.
They're totally cool guys. I remember I asked him what his favorite movie was of all time, and he said Raising Arizona. And we talked about like the Coen brothers for a while, and then Simon Pegg, totally generous too. Talked to him for like a good 5 minutes. Really nice guys. That was a Hot Fuzz screening.
Yeah.
So it was Die Hard and Hot Fuzz double feature. But yeah. So I mean, regardless, okay, look. Yeah, no judgment on that. I'm just saying I had that experience with them at least. And I can agree that they're just great guys.
Totally.
Like, they are the genuine article. They're not like they talked. Let's say this: they talked to both of us, and we weren't women. So they were,
Well, I mean,
right?
I think they're because they are who they are. It's just
they're genuine. Yeah,
they're just good dudes.
they are.
Yeah. But
so,
listen,
no.
Everybody fucking loves Shaun of the Dead.
No, I mean, you're kind of on that island alone. I think maybe a bit.
Totally.
Yeah, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I'm on a few of those islands myself. I think the fact that I don't like The Dark Knight puts me on that island.
Oh, I mean, I can't tell you how many, ridiculous conversations I've had where I'm just like, listen, like, you're not going to change my mind, dude. You know?
I like Batman Begins. I don't love it, but it's my favorite of the three. And when I say I don't like Nolan's Batman, it's like I just insulted somebody's religion. And I'm like, look, I'm happy you have it.
Yeah, like there's enough Batman to go.
There's enough Batman for everybody. God, there's like 3 Batmans coming to theaters in the next year. You know,
people just didn't want to hear it. You know,
I'm sorry that I don't like The Dark Knight. I mean, I think Heath deserved the Oscar if it makes anybody feel better, but I don't like the movie much. I love Nolan as a filmmaker, but kind of like Zack Snyder, I don't want him to ever touch superheroes. Like, dude, make Dunkirk or whatever the hell you're going to do. Like, that's what you do. Keep doing it, you know? But thank you for the story, though. For the Shaun of the Dead story.
Well, it was just to say they're fucking rad dudes.
Yeah, no. I appreciate your respect of them.
A shit ton of talent.
Yeah.
And I like other things that they have done.
Sure.
Like in the world of movies and television and shit like that, but those movies,
the Coronado trilogy is
it does nothing for me.
Gotcha. That was 2005, right? 2004.
So I have Hellboy starred.
I expected that.
I have Napoleon Dynamite starred.
Hell yeah.
I have Spider-Man 2 starred.
Oh, you did star it. Okay.
Yeah. It's just not. I have weird stuff with Spider-Man.
Okay.
He's my favorite Marvel superhero and has been since I was 2 years old.
I'm guessing you enjoyed No Way Home.
Oh my god. Yeah. Come on.
How could you not? Right?
Yeah.
It's like the best cinematic blowjob you can. Here's everything you've ever wanted right here. It's like
Kevin Feige, Marvel to me. I can't even. What they're doing is incredible. It really is. And then I have The Incredibles starred.
Okay. I would say a perfect movie.
I mean, it's my favorite of 2004.
Is Incredibles?
And it's another thing that like shocked the hell out of me because I am not a Pixar guy. I am not a Disney animation guy. In fact, I'm just not like a animation movie type guy.
Yeah.
I don't have anything against it. It just has never been for me. I've seen plenty of things. It just doesn't. I don't know. I've never been taken by it.
So, if I can be honest with you, I've said this to a few other people in my private life, but I don't know why. But I have less drive now, as an adult, to watch new animated movies than I ever have. I'll watch them, and I watch a Pixar movie, and I'll be like, "That was damn good. It was a good movie, a solid movie." I don't know why though. It doesn't draw me in anymore. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what to tell you, brother.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, I say like that's a good movie, but I'm like, it's not my, whatever. It's not doing it for me.
So I went to see The Incredibles just to see the teaser trailer of Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'll stay for the whole thing. And I ended up like, I was like, I fucking love this movie. Like, this was so good, you know? But any of the other Pixar stuff that I've watched, I've just been like, you know, it doesn't do anything for me. So yeah.
I like Pixar, but what I'm saying is they're not, I don't run to them anymore, you know?
I don't care.
Yeah. Incredibles is a perfect movie though. It really is.
So good.
Yeah. So my number 4, I think this might be pretty far off your list. American Psycho.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Not a fan? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I mean, people love it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know? That makes sense though.
I don't know. I watched it and it just kind of went away.
Yeah. Just a Christian Bale again, right? Yeah.
Well, I love the Prestige.
That's right. Yeah. Prestige. You know what's great about Prestige too? It was like a movie that was like made because they had a break and they were just like, hey, Christopher Nolan was just like, how about we just make this other movie while we're waiting? And they ended up making that like masterpiece.
I'm not a Christopher Nolan guy. Again, I don't watch dramas. I don't care.
Right.
I will not ever watch Dunkirk or anything like that.
You would not enjoy Dunkirk.
No. I just don't care.
It's not for me. I wouldn't recommend it.
But the guy who made Batman Begins is making a weird, fantastical magic movie about magicians and shit like that. I was like, all right, okay, I can get behind this. And then at the end of the movie, I was like, well, shit. He tricked me. You know, he got me.
He prestiged the audience. He prestiged.
Yeah, and I fucking loved it. Yeah, I loved it. So,
I already said my number 3, which you already said is Inglourious Basterds. So, what's your 2003?
Ooh, my 2003. Well, so starred, I have Bad Boys 2.
I'm so happy about that, man. You don't understand.
The first Pirates.
Okay.
Freddy versus Jason for very specific reasons.
I enjoy Freddy vs. Jason a lot.
And the movie that I've watched the most from 2003 is probably Return of the King.
Okay. So you're a Lord of the Rings guy?
Oh my God, am I a Lord of the Rings?
I didn't know that. That's awesome. Okay.
Oh yeah. No,
I
watch them every year. The extended editions only. Yeah. Watch them every single year.
Theatricals aren't even. I don't even count them. There's too much missing. Also, that's a rare time where I think a Best Picture nominee is on your list, or for an actual Oscar-winning movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I actually didn't know that you were a Lord of the Rings guy. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's something that is comforting about those movies, and I can't explain it. Like, if I'm ever feeling down, I just put them on in the background. Don't know what it is.
I mean,
there's like 12, 13 hours of them, so it's like, did you?
And I've watched the making of probably 10, 11, 12 times.
Really?
All the appendices. I've watched them so many times over. Yeah. But I'm a big extra features guy. I love movie making documentaries and shit.
Yeah. Are you a Peter Jackson fan? Are you?
Again.
Oh man, really?
Only if No, I fucking love Peter Jackson.
Oh, okay.
But only when he's doing Peter Jackson. When he's doing like
prestige stuff.
The shit that I want to see. No, I want him to.
No. I mean, you don't. I'm saying you're like doing a Spielberg thing, like this prestige stuff. You don't.
I don't want him to do anything serious. I don't want him to, like, stay away from anything like that. And I would prefer he go back to his horror.
So, I mean, 2 of my favorite movies of all time are Dead Alive and The Frighteners. I love those movies so much.
Yeah, they're fucking great.
Yeah,
great. I'm waiting for him, man.
Like,
he keeps teasing those 4K releases,
right? And Meet the Feebles for the first time ever, right?
Meet the Feebles, Bad Taste, Dead Alive, and he's gonna.
I've not purchased them because I'm waiting.
Yeah, hell no.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
They're just gonna look fucking terrible.
I did see his World War One thing, which
Yeah, I didn't care.
no, I'm not. I understand that, but the technology of what he did there, watching it on the big screen, I'm like, all right, I am so. It made me so excited for. It's weird to say watching a World War One documentary made me excited for Dead Alive.
Well,
you know,
I've talked about this so many times, and I wonder if people have taken my advice. But if you watch the appendices of the Hobbit trilogy,
mm-hmm.
there is a segment where he's talking about technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the behind the scenes, and he shows clips from Bad Taste, Dead Alive, and Meet the Feebles, all in fucking HD. Like he shows clips,
like remastered,
yes.
Clips. I didn't know this,
and I lost my mind. And this was just out of the blue during the documentary of The Hobbit. I'm just sitting there, and then I'm like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!" You know, like I had never seen them look
that
so
good,
vibrant and good.
I mean, I've never seen Feebles look anything better than like a digitized YouTube upload of a VHS.
So the very first time I saw Feebles was an import VHS in like 94 or something like that, 93, 94, that I got from Blackest Heart Media catalog, because I would always import VHS from them. And it was rough. It was terrible. And that's how it was with, I rented Bad Taste and Toxic Avenger in 1989, and it was a double feature Friday night for me. And that was the first time I had ever seen the Toxic Avenger.
Man, that is a beautiful moment right there.
Those two movies really changed so much for the future of Chris Seaver, you know?
They really shaped you.
I mean, I was already into dumb shit and horror and comedy and all that stuff, but to see those two and the way they did it back to back, I mean,
was that your I want to do this moment? Like, I want to do this.
It was like this is the type of shit that I've been wanting to do forever, you know,
it was your new North Star or something.
I was just like, wow, like it's possible to go this far, you know, to go this goofy.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, listen, 12 years old, 1989, I was like, who the fuck is this Peter Jackson? And I'm going to follow this guy.
Yeah.
And I did, you know, and then there was a gore zone that because I was getting Fangoria and Gore Zone, of course. And there was a gore zone that talked about Peter Jackson's new film, Meet the Feebles, and it had like black and white pictures. And I was like, what the fuck is Meet the Feebles? You know? So yes, I am a Peter Jackson fan for sure. I would love to see him go back to a low budget horror movie.
So, and I would you just going back to what you said, you're a fan of the Hobbit movies too.
I do like the Hobbit movies. They're not, I tell you what, I was really excited for Guillermo del Toro to do it.
Yeah.
And then I was a little bummed when that all changed and Peter jumped back on board the whole thing, and especially if you watch the making of those movies. I mean,
oh yeah, no, I've seen breakdowns of them where he's like literally struggling.
Yeah,
it's not his fault. I don't think it's his. I like those movies. I like them.
I like them, but I don't love them.
And when I saw some of the clips of him behind the scenes, you could tell like he's like, I don't know what we're shooting today. I don't know what's happening.
Well, there's a part in the documentary. It's like, 15 hours long. It's one of those giant
right
things. But there's a part where you just see the doubt on his face taking over, you know, like that he just was like,
and it's not just doubt. He has spoken about it since like where he had 300, 400 crew members all counting on him to legally get this done, or else it wouldn't happen and their jobs would be lost.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't they weren't movies made in the same spirit of the trilogy. They just had like, it all just went to hell, and he had to do what he had to do. And I think anybody, I mean, that's like what is that? That's like the multi-million-dollar version of having to finish your low-budget picture, right? I mean, then you have to compromise on everything. Right. I was just curious because the Hobbit movies get shit on so much, so it's good to hear a little bit of positivity about them.
No, I own them. I own the extended editions. I only watch the extended editions.
I really enjoy that. I actually enjoy that first movie the most, I think.
Me too.
Yeah. But okay. That was 2003, right?
Yep.
2002. I'll say mine. I have a feeling this is going to get the old sour lemon face. Snatch.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me your 2002.
No, I mean, if you want to talk about it, we can totally talk about it.
No.
If you don't, movies,
No, if you don't, I just brought my list as like, I really care about your list. Mine was just kind of, so it's interactive. Yeah. I want to hear yours more.
No
shame.
Blade 2.
Yes.
And
are these the starred ones or just?
Yeah. Blade 2 and The Two Towers.
Both sequels. Blade 2 fucking rules. I love Blade 2 so much. It fills so many different things back then I've always wanted to see, and then I saw it in Blade 2 and I was like, okay. I've always wanted to see like a hobo karate fighting. You know? And then I remember being in the theater and be like, "Oh my god. He looks like a hobo karate fighting." But yeah, I love that movie. I watched it in a theater about 5 years ago. I watched a 35mm print of Blade 2 completely alone in a theater. Nobody showed up for the revival screening except me.
Hey! Stop it!
Is that your cat? But
trying to get into food. Yeah, no, I fucking, I love it.
Where does it rank on your Del Toro?
Pretty high. Yeah.
What's your number one Del Toro?
Is
that too much of a question?
No. I mean, Hellboy 2 and Crimson Peak. Like I think I'm probably one of two people who adore Crimson Peak.
I love Crimson Peak. I don't understand why people don't adore Crimson Peak.
But that's really high up there for me. I like Pan's Labyrinth, but I get so sad watching it. I don't know. I haven't 100% hated anything that he's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Have you seen Nightmare Alley?
Nope, but it's on
HBO Max now.
Yeah. I know.
It's really amazing.
It's just putting aside 3 hours to.
It is not a short sit.
To watch it, and I love long movies, but it's just I've been busy and it's on my list though.
I feel like I don't know why. I guess I don't know why I feel always bad saying this, but mine would be Hellboy 2. I feel like he's done so much incredible work. And I know other people are like, "What are you talking about?" It's obviously like Pan's Labyrinth. I think is a go-to, but I can't.
It's just people's aesthetic.
Aesthetic, yeah,
it's
like
what they love. It's the type of shit that they gravitate towards. Hellboy 2 hits so many sweet spots.
I love Hellboy 1 also. I don't want to discount Hellboy 1.
Hellboy 1 is on a list. It's just not starred, but
2 is special for me. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it. It's got everything, you know?
So, 2002, I think my favorite out of the year was Two Towers.
Two Towers?
Yeah.
Wow, Chris, I didn't know how much you like Lord of the Rings. I'm really happy about this.
Yep. I also have Jackass on my list. I have Mr.
Yeah.
Deeds. I have Minority Report. I have Spider-Man.
Okay, so Minority Report, that's kind of a almost serious. It's still sci-fi. It's still sci-fi.
Come on, my man. That is some.
It does tackle some very philosophical themes, though. You got to admit.
So the drama can be drama as long as it's not in the real world.
It's got to have it's got to have that flavored wrapping.
Be, yeah. It has to be. I have to be taken out of this world to enjoy it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So because obviously there's a lot of drama in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's just. Yeah. I'm not gonna go see the importance of being earnest. The importance of being earnest. You know what I mean? Like I don't care about that.
Unless it has Jim Varney in it, right?
Well, it's got to be earnest.
It's got to be earnest. Right?
Not some dude. Not Ernest Hemingway.
The real Ernest, the official Ernest.
Yeah, I'm talking about the real Ernest P. Worrell. Then I'll watch it all day.
I know we're not finished with the list yet, but can I say, out of everyone on Earth, you are my favorite Ernest impersonator.
That's pretty rough. I'm sure there's amazing people.
There might be.
John Cena. There's so many people who can do it.
There is a movie on YouTube. It's like a full-length 60-minute movie that's like two guys as Ernest and Ace Ventura.
Oh, I made it through like 2 minutes of it, and I was just like.
So I actually watched the whole thing somehow.
Oh my goodness.
Somehow. But a friend recommended it to me. A filmmaker friend recommended it to me. And I was telling him like, no, you need, if you want to see an Ernest impersonation, you need to see Chris Seaver. And he was like, hey,
check this out.
Okay. That's amazing, man. For anyone that's, just listening and not watching, he just pulled out a full Ernest costume. Chris,
never know when you're gonna need it.
Chris, is that from the Blue Cheese Brothers? Is that the one you wore?
No, this was more accurate.
Okay.
That was a more accurate representation.
So, that's also one of my favorite Seaver viewing experiences, by the way, is with my friends. It was like three of us watching Blue Cheese Brothers for the first time, and I was just, I mean, like, your impression blew us all away. Like, I mean, you might not think much of it, but we were like, I remember when they were interviewing for like a new Ernest, and everyone was like, "Seaver, you got to do it," or is it just me and Clint telling you to do it?
No, other people did too.
Yeah, they never went through with that. I think, thankfully.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, there is no replacement.
No.
But I really love your impression. I just wanted to say that. I hope I'm not making you feel weird by saying that.
No.
Yeah. That was 2002, right?
Yep.
So here we are, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Did you went down to 2000 or just 2001?
Oh, I went to 2000.
Okay, cool. So I already said my number one, which is very disappointing to you. Hot Fuzz. I'm sorry, Chris.
Hey, man.
I love it.
You love what you love.
Yeah, I love what I love. And also, okay, look, I'll say this one thing. If there was ever a movie that loved Bad Boys 2,
well, yeah,
it is Hot Fuzz. So at least there's that.
But I got Bad Boys 2.
I know.
I would rather put Bad Boys 2 in than watch Hot Fuzz.
Or Point Break.
Any day of the week. I hate Point Break, actually.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
But Bad Boys 2. Okay.
Bad Boys 2 all the way.
Okay. What's your 2001?
This is like real low. I got 2 starred, and they're both pretty outstanding. One is Fellowship of the Ring, and the other is Wet Hot American Summer.
Incredible.
No,
both. I'm a huge David Wayne fan.
Oh, so am I.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever disliked anything he's done.
Like those guys, they're spiritual brothers.
Yeah.
The State, all those idiots, like that kind of absurdity is.
It's. I was actually even a huge fan of Viva Variety. You remember that? I don't know if you remember Viva Variety.
Oh, I remember.
Johnny Blue Jeans. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But I even like the What Hot American Summer shows.
So do I.
Yeah, I mean, I think the second one kind of got buried, but I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, what were your not starred ones in that year?
I have A Knight's Tale, Zoolander,
Hell yeah.
Jeepers Creepers, and Harry Potter.
Which one? Was that the first one? Was that the first one? I don't remember when the Harry Potter started.
Yep.
Zoolander is significant for me because it was the first movie I saw after 9/11. I remember like 9/11 happening and then going to the theater like 2 days later, and Zoolander took the pressure off the.
Yeah, man.
What I was feeling.
It'll put a smile on your face.
Yeah, really. I really love that movie. I don't have any more, so let's just go right into your 2000.
Okay, so I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 9. I've got about 9 on my list.
Okay.
But only 1 starred.
Okay. Give me the 8 first, and then like end with the star.
So X-Men, Scary Movie, High Fidelity.
I love it.
Ginger Snaps, Godzilla 2000.
Hell yes.
Final Destination.
Love it. Yeah.
Dude, Where's My Car? And Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Okay.
Because I was also a big I really love wushu cinema. I love like Hong Kong wire work fantasy, and I have since the early '90s. So that was fun. Again, I was like, man, I've been watching this shit since the early '90s. And everyone was like, oh my God, The Matrix and Crouching Tiger were like these amazing things. And I was like, have you seen The Bride with White Hair, bro? Haven't seen that.
You're a kung fu hipster is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha.
Dude, Where's My Car? Because
I was going to say you seem a little bit ashamed of that, even though I don't think you should be.
No, I don't. I'm not ashamed of it. Yeah. I don't believe in guilt.
That was originally pitched as Bill and Ted 3.
I'm glad that it didn't become Bill and Ted 3.
Same.
It's what it is.
I'm glad because it's a different type of humor.
Totally. Yeah. It 100% is.
Yeah.
And it's the type of humor that makes me laugh. It is just stupid.
It's pretty, yeah. I enjoy it.
But yeah, and this is funny. It made my list because I was a fan for a long time of Ginger Snaps, and then I watched it when the Scream Factory Blu-ray came out, and I picked it up, and then I was like, I don't think I like this anymore. It didn't
do it.
No, it just didn't hold up for me. I actually found Catherine Isabel to be fucking annoying.
Okay. All right.
I found her character to be deplorable. I was just like, oh my God, I fucking hate this person. Like, I hate this character. Like,
so wait, why is it on the list then?
Because I liked it from 2000. I liked it enough.
Okay, but you're saying, but now you don't like it though.
Owned it, but now,
okay,
having seen it recently with that Scream Factory Blu-ray, I was like, and I actually got rid of that Blu-ray.
Okay,
because I don't,
I've only ever seen it once. I'm kind of indifferent. If I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm indifferent. What was and your starred one?
My starred one is Pitch Black.
Wow. Okay.
I am an unabashed fan of Riddick and the world of Riddick.
So I can't believe we kind of didn't hit the other, but my favorite Riddick movie is Chronicles of Riddick. I love Chronicles of Riddick.
So do I.
It angers me that it wasn't a hit because we never got more of stuff on that scale.
Oh shit! I did, and it is starred here for my 2004.
I was gonna say, yeah. How come you didn't say it?
I didn't mention it, but there it is. Yeah. So Pitch Black is my favorite from 2000.
Pitch Black is a solid movie.
Yeah, it's not Chronicles of Riddick.
It's not Chronicles. Chronicles of Riddick is trying to become a Star Wars.
It's trying to become several science fiction.
Yeah, seriously.
Epics.
It's such a big swing,
and it's fucking dope.
Yeah, I love it.
But I love all three of them actually, and the first one was pretty cool because at the time Casey and I were in New York for a Fangoria show. We were selling at a Fangoria convention, and someone was walking around the convention passing out free. You get to go see a free screening tonight. Come to this theater and you'll get to see the star and the director. And nobody knew what the fuck we were going to go see.
Right.
It was just one of those like secret screenings. And it turned out to be like a preview screening where we had to like sign cards at the end and tell everybody what we thought and everything.
Yeah. And
it was Pitch Black and David Twohy and fucking Vin Diesel. And again, Vin Diesel was nothing. Who knew the fuck?
Back then, he was just a character in the movie.
So 2000, we're just like, who's this bald-headed dude in the, this bald, weird, muscly dude? And they showed Pitch Black, and the crowd loved it, and I was just like, this was fucking dope. This was sweet. I like this character. And so it's very significant for me and Casey. But it's solid. But I think out of that 2000 list, it's the one that I would watch the most because I'll do
the whole
Riddick trilogies.
Would you watch the animated movie too?
I'm not the biggest fan of the animated movie or the video game. I know people love that video game, but cinematically, I love Riddick, and I'm so happy that they're doing another one.
Here's my thing about Riddick, the movie Riddick. I like it. It's just the fact I feel like it's their compromise.
Well, it is.
Movie. It is. It totally is. And I guess I like it. I just wish I wish a movie like that happened before Chronicles. I think Chronicles is like the end or something. Because Chronicles is like a Conan movie. It ends like a Conan movie, and then it's like,
I know. And then they like kind of sweep it over under the rug in the opening of Riddick.
Right.
Because
they don't have the money. They just don't have the money. And it's not a bad movie. It's just
I feel like I would rather have Riddick than no Riddick.
Than no Riddick. Yeah.
Because I was one of those people who was like, they got to make that third movie. They have to make that third movie, but knowing how big they wanted it to be and the box office and all of that. And I was like, well, whatever. If you're giving me fucking Riddick, give it to me, I really enjoyed it. I mean, and I know with the next one, they're finally going to fucking Furia
and stuff. Right.
And go. And I'm excited that that's still on track.
I think if I could, the one criticism I have of Chronicles of Riddick is the title. Is a terrible title for one. It doesn't even make sense. It just doesn't make sense as for that movie. But I don't think the public knew what to make of that at all. And then they got in the theater, and everyone was like, what is this I'm watching? What exactly is this movie? But I was working at a video store at the time, and I was managing a store, and I was like telling people to rent it all the time, and I got a lot of angry returns. What the hell? People just did not like it. I was like, I tried to like explain. I was like, try to think of it as like them making a giant sci-fi epic like back when we were kids, and they're just taking that giant swing like Star Wars did.
Really, like they really were. They wanted to expand that world, and I love what they were doing.
I love it. And I feel like there's a small cult around it that appreciates what they did.
Yeah, it's you and me.
Us too. Also, if you want to, one of the hardest times I ever laughed for my other podcast, I made everybody go see 50 Shades Darker. It's a bad movie podcast. So I made it was a free screening. I made everyone go. In that movie, for some reason, there is a dramatic scene of like a breakup, but there's a Chronicles of Riddick poster on the wall while it's happening. And in the theater, everyone started laughing. Like everyone was like, "Why is it in the frame of this movie?" There's a giant Chronicles of Riddick poster.
That's funny.
I'm not telling you to watch that movie ever.
Oh, I would never.
I know you
that.
wouldn't. It's just I have, and the fact that there is a Chronicles of Riddick poster is hilarious. Yeah, that's little trivia. Sweet. That's the end of our list, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Thanks for doing that. Thanks for like actually like stretching your muscles on this one. I appreciate it.
Well, again, like I said, I mean, it turned out that I liked a lot more than I thought.
See? I mean, you lived through it, yeah. There's no way you weren't going to love a lot of stuff. Is there any 2000 any aughts movies we didn't talk about that were on your list?
I mean, again, I've got so many. I've got a lot, you know.
I mean, any ones that you wanted to mention?
Black Dynamite.
Oh, Black Dynamite's so good.
From 2009. That was
pretty incredible.
Pretty awesome. Yeah. And we saw that again. That was it has a special place in my heart because we went to. That was the year that
you and Casey.
A good chunk of the crew. We went to Sundance to promote LBP and hand out press kits and all sorts of shit. And one of the screenings we went to was the premiere of Black Dynamite. So that just holds a special place
in our
hearts. You know, Michael Jai White was there and introduced the movie. And
he's a really cool guy from what I understand.
Oh yeah, we went up to him. We have pictures with him and everything.
I saw some video of him getting like his 50th birthday and with all of his friends. It was like on YouTube. And the cake they got him was Spawn's head. And he was just laughing his ass off because, you know, he's like has a really good sense of humor about that movie.
Totally.
Yeah, like he just seemed like a really cool guy. So that's cool.
But yeah, Black Dynamite's dope. Let's see, what else do I got here?
Well, if nothing rings, it's fine. I was gonna say like we're hitting over 2 hours here, so
okay. Yeah.
I just want number one, Chris, thank you for doing this. Like I'm just happy to actually talk to you, man. Like I feel like we haven't hung out for like years, so this was just fun for that. We haven't talked movie, and hearing you say you love things like Hot Rod warms my heart. I can't tell you how much. Warms my heart.
Why wouldn't I though? You know, like
I don't know. I've heard people like they hate that movie. So
you know my movies and the type of humor that's in all my flicks. I mean,
I just didn't think it would come because it's not well known. I didn't know if you had seen it. Yeah, man. Yeah.
It was,
but that so especially warms my heart. You're doing a lot of stuff now. You're still. I mean, you're doing your YouTube channels like kind of your go-to, right?
Yeah, you know, it's not consistent. I don't. It's not a monetized thing. I just literally do it for fun.
Nothing wrong with that. Why do you think I do this?
That's it. So I'm not like trying to get a video out every month or every week or anything like that. I do it as I want, and it's just been a fun thing. It's another way to stay creative.
Mm-hmm. I watch it,
but yeah. So I'm doing that, and that's
a crap from the 80s.
Yeah, crap from the 80s on YouTube and also Instagram and.
I'll throw links on the main post on the website for this.
Yeah, you know, the Facebook is still Warlock Home Video. That's still up there. Because it's everything. It's an amalgamation of low budget pictures, Warlock Home Video, A Crap from the 80s. It's everything that I do or love. It's all sort of.
It's the Seaver. It's the Seaver.
Yeah, that's what the YouTube channel. You can find all of it.
All of it there. for anyone that's curious, where's like, I know that they're for sale on physical media. Where's like the best place to see your movies? Is there any place that like, are they streaming? I don't actually know.
They are streaming.
Okay.
Again, it's one of those things where, like, you know, the distributors never tell me what's happening with the films,
right.
and they're just all over the place. So they are all over the place. And it's always, it's an odd mix too, because, you know, I've dealt with several different distributors. So all of them have a certain number of Seaver movies out there in the streaming world. And you just don't know. You just type in Chris Seaver and you see what pops up. I know there's on Amazon Prime, there's a bunch. Tubi has a bunch. You know, those streaming channels.
Do you ever hope to like get back the rights someday and like kind of consolidate them on like even put them on your YouTube channel or something like that? Is that ever gonna? I mean, I'm just curious.
You know what's awesome about? Well, I'll tell you this: I have tried to get the rights back to some of my movies from SRS, because they aren't selling them. They're just fucking sitting on them. Yeah. I made like probably 10 movies for SRS, and he sells one of them on DVD. You know, that's like actually on the website. Everything else he stopped selling. He did like, what he did was he did like a limited number of some of them, and then was just like, well, that's it. And so like I recently went to him and was like, hey, could I, you know, how about I get some of the rights back for some of these movies that you're not doing anything? He's like, oh no, because you know, I might do something with them down the road. I'm like, well, that's okay, that's awesome. Because I would do something with them,
right?
And that's
what would you? I guess I'm asking, what would you do? Would you just like put them on like YouTube or
no?
Like
I do Blu-ray.
Blu-rays.
You know, because there's just such a giant number of them that are just DVD. You know, and that's what I loved about you know, working with JR and Tempe Entertainment so much, and you know, they came to me and said, hey, we're going to re-release these all on Blu-ray, cleaned up as much as you can clean up,
right?
Digital video and VHS and all that shit. And do you want to be a part of it? You know, and I was a part of it, and I got paid, man. You know, like he was like, let's do new features. Let's really do a thing. And then he put out that box set, and you know, it's every movie that I made for those guys. And then they, you know, WEIRDSIES is finally out for real, and that's awesome. And, you know, 6 years later.
Where's WEIRDSIES available?
That's through MakeFlix. But I mean, it's on all the, you know, you can get it on Walmart, fucking Amazon, and all those places. But
that's honestly I think that's one of my favorites you've ever made.
It's my favorite.
Like I'm proud to be a part of that one, Chris. If you didn't know, it's
good.
Yeah.
So you know, I mean, for the most part,
I was trying to find a place we could direct people that listen to this. Like,
okay, so Tempe Entertainment, or well, now it's MakeFlix.com.
MakeFlix.com. Okay.
Yeah, they have the 13 movie box set that is all Blu-ray and tons of old features and all the new shit that we did for them, which is awesome. It was a lot of fun. And then they have the WEIRDSIES, which, please, people, watch the WEIRDSIES.
WEIRDSIES is great. I mean, I feel like I'm a biased opinion here, but
I think it's a good. If you haven't seen any of my movies before, it's a good.
It's good, yeah.
It's a good starter because it's a mix of my weirdness and stupidity, but it's also like the closest thing to mainstream that you'll probably ever see from Chris Seaver. You know, so
yeah.
I think
it's also like during it's Clint, right? Helped you shoot that, right?
Yeah.
Like
I mean, but Clint's still a part. I mean, Clint is still, you know, on the project. I mean, you know, he's part of the group.
Yeah.
And then like, listen, I could, because I've made over 60 features and shorts. I have a lot that I haven't given to distributors or made for distributors. So I have a lot of movies, and now I am putting those out on Blu-ray. And you can go to me. You can just find me at warlockhomevideo@gmail.com, and I'll give you a list of everything that I have. But yeah, we're porting everything over onto Blu-ray, and some of the movies you just won't see ever again.
Okay.
Yeah, like I stopped doing DVD probably like 2 years ago. And when I did that, just a lot of the films are just going to be put away. But
because of the format, not because you don't want people to see them.
I think a little bit of both.
Oh, okay, all right.
And there's a case with a couple of them where like, people aren't part of the group anymore, so they would rather not have things
out there
anymore. And I'm like, hey man, I totally get it. It's not a big deal for me because I made so many movies, and some of those movies just aren't good.
Yeah.
So I don't care. but some of them, I think it's fun to sort of, we have this guy. His name is Zach Oliveris, and I'll tell a little bit more about this guy. I'm sorry if this is going over. I don't know if you want this on here or just you and me can talk.
No. Tell me.
I'll tell you the other thing later. But this guy, Zach Oliveris, who is a filmmaker, and he has a documentary coming out this year, which maybe some of you LBP Warlock fans will really enjoy. But so this guy is doing all of our Blu-rays now.
Okay.
And he's been like digitally cleaning up some of this garbage and allowing us to do like a shit ton of extras and everything. So it's been really fun to, go back and put some of this stuff out on Blu-ray in double features and things like that. Like the Anal Paprika trilogy is now on a 2-disc Blu-ray set with a ton of stuff that nobody's ever seen. And that's what's been fun about doing these Blu-rays, is finding stuff that nobody has seen and have no idea that is even a thing.
Yeah.
And I've been putting it on the discs and really showing people like the early days of Chris Seaver making movies and shit like that. So that's been really a lot of fun. And I've been tracking down the first wave of LBP, the people who started from 91 to like 98 with me.
Yeah.
And I've tracked down like 5 or 6 of those dudes and did like special features and talked to some of them for the first time in over 25 years,
Holy shit. So these were like your friends that you just, you lose touch with people.
This was the first wave, the first group who I pulled into Low Budget Pictures with me, making these movies and calling it Low Budget Pictures. Yeah, it's been a trip. It's been really weird to like track, and some of these dudes I have been talking to for like 5 hours, at a time. And then you gotta and then Zach has to cut down, 15 minutes worth of shit to put on the discs, but it's just like, I'm catching up,
Yeah. Well, do you have anything? Do you have any? I know you're doing your YouTube thing, but do you have other movies on the slate? You still got something coming up?
Production wise, yes. I have been working on a TV show. I don't know if Clint has told you or if
he hasn't
mentioned it before, but for over a year now, we've been developing this thing called Wellsville Nights, and it's a TV show. So right now there's 4 seasons mapped out. Now this is all spec.
Okay.
This is, but the idea is we're gonna pitch this show to a place like Adult Swim or Comedy Central or places like that, because this show is tailor made for these type of networks. So yeah, it's Wellsville Nights, and we have a show Bible, which is a 4-season arc from beginning to end. What happens in each season, and right now we are about to be done writing the first season, and we're only going to shoot the pilot, and we're going to use that pilot along with the first season scripts and the 4-season arc pitch Bible, So we're going to use all that to sort of go out and try to see if somebody is interested in it. And it's and we're shooting the pilot finally this summer.
Nice.
But it's a comedy. It's a supernatural comedy, but it's a comedy. It's like I'm poking fun at 80s and 90s teen soap operas.
Okay, all right.
Like Degrassi Junior High and
Dawson's Creek.
Not really Dawson's Creek, but more Degrassi. There was a show on Nickelodeon that was called 15.
I remember that. I remember 15.
And it had like 4 seasons. And like Saved by the Bell in sort of looks, aesthetic, but not content.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is Wellsville Nights is a teen drama, and everything is taken serious. It's melodramatic. It is just like those shows. It's so, these kids were going through so much pain when they were 15 and dealing with so much hardship as a teen. And so that's what this is, but it's my absurd dialogue with my absurd themes.
It's still the Seavage flavor, is what you're saying.
It is still Seaver. A little pulled back, of course, but because it's going to be on, it's a TV show. So it pokes fun at all of that, and it's played so straight, but it deals with breakups and drug abuse and all that shit, but done my style,
yeah,
my humor. And then there's dark shadows thrown in.
Okay,
there's supernatural. There's like werewolves and vampires and things like that, alien invasion and shit like that that's happening. And it's shot like it was back then. It's shot 4:3. It's shot with video, soft light,
So aesthetically, it looks like an old TV show.
It's supposed to look like a teen soap opera or 80s sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
3 cameras. The stage is set. You come in and out. You do your thing. You do the scene.
Okay, I didn't see that. Makes it. I didn't know that. That's amazing. Okay, so you're doing like an actual aesthetic, production aesthetic.
Yeah. We want it to look like those shows.
Authentic. Yeah.
The pilot is probably not going to look like that because we are shooting in an actual school for the pilot. But after that, the idea is to, go that way and really, really dig into the realism of those shows from back then.
Gotcha.
But that's what we're doing. It's called Wellsville Nights, and shooting in July, at the end of July, in Buffalo, New York.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, man. I'm just happy you're still making. It's always good you're still making stuff. I mean, I know you're still doing the podcast and everything, but you know what I mean. Like, still production.
It's we haven't done a movie in 5 years.
No shame in that.
Which is, it is for me, who used to be making 6 movies a year.
Well, okay, you're the exception to the rule there, Chris. I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
5 years is a lot.
Yeah.
And we did. I mean, in 2016, we made Death of Lantern, the remake, and I'm not a fan of it, so I don't really count it. And then we did a short in 2019, which is Stoinkmere on Halloween Street, which is a part of the Stoinky Saga Blu-ray. It's got all
that's where people can see that on the Blu-ray.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
But again, it was just a fun little dumb thing just to add to the Blu-ray.
Well, that sounds good, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask that I'm gonna put all the links to your important links on the main post for this episode.
Sounds good.
I implore everyone to join the Seaver Army or whatever the hell you want to say. I don't know, low budget. I knew you as low budget pictures, like you said.
Yes.
Like that's how I originally was introduced to you.
Yep.
It was that. So
yeah. I mean, I guess now it would be Warlock Home.
Warlock.
I mean, it's the same thing, really. That's why, I mean, we're sort of
branding's a bitch,
Yeah, it's just LBP and Warlock are logos that are on every Blu-ray now.
I use this is my podcast is named Thundergrunt. I put Thundergrunt after my shorts at the end. I just use it as branding because I'm like, I got a branding thing. I just use it for everything. You know what I mean? I have it, so I get it. It's the choice is always hard of what to do. But I was gonna say, I'm just happy to spend this time with you, man. Thank you for doing this. I'm gonna cut us off now because I don't want to take up any more of your time. I didn't realize how long we've been talking, but honestly, cool. It felt like it was like half an hour. So, yeah, I appreciate it. I'm gonna say goodbye now.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna stop recording.
All right, man. Thank you so much.